It is the cheapest thing to do.
Yes.
Because the money is there. You can go to supplementary appropriation. You can put it in the budget. You can take a loan and grant. A lot of our roads are funded that way.
But then they will argue that these roads and these buildings are needed also. They call it development.
They are needed. Certainly. But the issue is the process. And we can even say the objective, because I don't think their objective is necessarily because this is needed by the country for the economic development as economic drivers. But I think the objective, as Mustafa highlighted earlier, is the corruption, because it is one way to divert.
For the optics, people to say they have
exactly.
Make them electorally acceptable.
So if you go to military regimes, I was in Sierra Leone when Strasser was there. For example, if you go to Nigeria or as well, and even Ghana, it's one of the things such regimes do to get into this capital-intensive infrastructure, because it is visible, it is there. So there isn't a system to govern and develop the country, because that is the issue. What system do you have to ensure economic development, economic opportunities are available? All right, to ensure that institutions are efficient, effectively running, to ensure there is impact in terms of the policies that you create. Now, if you don't deal with that, you can build multiple roads and other buildings, and but it will make a difference in the lives of the people.
You will see the appreciation.
Exactly.
You will wonder why people are not appreciating.
So, for example, when you look at the coastal road that Jammeh built, it's necessary to have a coastal road.
The Combo Coastal Road.
Combo Coastal Road, right? And it opened up that part of the country.
Yeah.
But after years till now, you realize it hasn't critically changed the socio-economic life in Gunjur or Katong or Sanyang and all the villages around. All right. You and I may have our capital, and we go and build a nice house in Gunjur. People do open your business at the beach. That happens. But fundamentally, the road has not triggered wealth creation across the combo areas, simply because you just don't need that road. You need that road, but you need good governance, you need transparency, you need accountability, you need policies, programs that are implemented in a way that Tanje, you may be I'm sure, like me, you've been going to Tanje, the fish part down there over the years. When you go there, you realize 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, practically this place hasn't changed. The women you see there selling, they're still in poverty. Right? Because you need a lot more than just to say, this is a landing site, fish landing site, we'll build a cold store here. Yes, a cold store is a structure they need, and a road is a thing they need. But beyond that, what have you done further? And in terms of your institutions to serve the needs of those women, that has been the missing link. Even during Jawara's time. So that when you look at Jawara, in some sense, and again you can see the difference, Jammeh rushed and built a TV station, built a university, all right, and even an airport over there.
Terminal.
But we just stagnated. Debt only increased, poverty increased, and all of these problems. But look at Jawara. Jawara didn't build a university or a TV station. But Jawara thought, we don't need a university. What we need is an MDI. We need a GTTI. We need a Gamma College. We need an RDI. We need NARI. So we need those institutions, which they may not be called a university, like nominally. But when you look at it,
they basically
essentially they are universities.
What we need.
And these are what we need. You build that local capacity and so on. So as Mustafa said, when you look at it in all areas, Jawara had a vision. Yes. Now his failure is that MDI should not have been just where it is right now, or GTTI. GTTI should have been producing our technologists, our scientists. Probably through GTTI we should have been manufacturing our laptops today. Our phones. All right. I read Nkrumah when he set up the Nkrumah University of Science and Technology in Kumasi. he said these are the ones to build our technologies. I mean, our gadgets and things. Yeah. And that university created the first traffic light in Kumasi, the city of Kumasi. All right. So, how could Jawara make MDI make our civil service even more efficient, more productive? Because civil service, ultimately, national development is based on the civil service.
Absolutely.
I mean, you look at Gambia College, whether it's education or whether it's School of Agriculture
or health.
Or health. How have the School of Health helped to create what Americans have called a Centers of Disease Control, to study our society in terms of diseases, create medicines, you know, and so on? How could our agriculture have really equip our farmers? We shouldn't be sitting here having farmers come from Taiwan or Indonesia or China giving us this variety or that variety. How could we have done that? And I have read other accounts and listen to other people. I think Uncle Baksture probably talking about the story of the Ndama cattle and the role Jawara played in terms of through the ITC and so on.
Exactly.
So when you look at it, a lot of things were present during the Jawara era. But ultimately, the quality of leadership to transform these ideas and these institutions to make the fundamental difference in our lives is what could not happen until 1994 came. And because it did not happen, so we were stagnating. We were circulating around, and that creates, therefore, is all the poverty, the deprivation. So when you talked about Jame saying those children were having this, yes, I mean, I would be angry. You would be angry. And I've been many workshops, meetings in the Gambia over the past 35 years. And I tell them, look, to show you the injustice of our system, I am from Boraba. My father sent me to school. All I know my father do is farming and playing the Quran, you know. And I graduated. Within 5 years, I became richer than my father, who's been, you know, on the farming land 70 years. Now, how is that possible? He is farming. He produces groundnuts. He produces rice. He's a farmer. He should be wealthy. But do we have the necessary systems, laws, institutions in place to transform his farming to become a wealth creation enterprise and not just to be in that perpetual, I mean, perennial poverty that, you know, he lived all his life, which is the case about many other people. So talking about this, I'm in a WhatsApp group, for example. Information came there about somebody in Balangar in the present day. Sent his groundnuts to the SECO and, you know, 2 weeks. Cannot be paid. One, he has to have a Q money app or something like that,
on his,
right? And then even there, that there's no money in the bank. Now who is deciding that?
Well,
all right. Now the minister or the director who will go to Balangar or go to all these places is driving some $12 million vehicle or some, I mean, Dalasi vehicle or some $3 million Prado. I understand. And so their children see these children coming out of these vehicles going to school. They will be aggrieved, because at the end of the day, we are all equal in this society.
Exactly.
Yes. So how can, and this is why I confront my friends, say, from Banjul. All right. I mean, say, look, what's the difference between Banjul and Boraba? Yes, Banjul is the capital city, but in this Gambia, we are all equal. We are all communities. So how can we have electricity supply? You know, in Boraba, I mean, in Banjul. Roads paved in Banjul, and the roads in Boraba are not paved, and electricity is not in Boraba, and other services. Now you cannot tell me because this one is a capital. No, it is not. So that inequality generates grievance.
And in terms
and that is tangible.
And in terms of salaries, that's inequality.
Many ways.
Somebody told me the last time. Okay, you look at this. Somebody who paid for his education and obtained a master's degree today, or maybe a PhD, is paid less than 40,000. Somebody who was in the street yesterday, joined politics, was elected or appointed, is earning 150,000 per month.
It's tragic.
Look at the irony.
The last time I checked, I had the consultants at the hospital, consultants are these the
Yeah,
doctors, the major doctors.
Yes, yes.
They earn, I think, around 90,000, I think,
A month.
Yeah.
All right.
I
So-
think far less
Yeah,
than some.
far less than-
So I think, Jam, for our society, and I see a lot of fanfare about independence, and even a so-called national dialogue being organized.
Yes, there's going to be a national dialogue. We are coming to that. Mhm.
Yeah, but I think our leaders, our technocrats, all right, and all of us need to recognize that this society is a very unjust, unequal, unfair society. And that alone is a threat to national security. That is a threat to national unity. That is a threat to national development. We have failed to establish a dispensation based on justice and equality, and so on.
Yeah.
And that is not just in terms of, words, but, in terms of access to services, in terms of access to opportunities, in terms of availability of goods,
Yes.
and so on. The disparities are so huge. I mean, where you have a bunch of Gambians think that only to go through the Sahara Desert and the high seas is the way to make to get out of some hopelessness. It's a matter that should really prick all of us to say, look, we need to have a conversation. Why should a Gambian person feel so desperate, so hopeless,
Yes.
that knowing all the risks, still thinks that he will take money or she will take money and go by the back way. Now, that is a matter that we need to look at, and we cannot just brush it aside as people are, crazy, or people are, stupid, or something like that, right? And so, if you don't deal with those kinds of things,
Yeah.
we are not helping our society. Yes, we are not helping our society, and I think, when we got to a day like this or a period like this, and we said it's independence, fine, we really need to look at the health and the strength of the society in terms of the very lives, the very circumstances, the very realities of the people. Yes, it is not a matter that one minister would come and sit here and tell us, bag of onion was $500, or bag of rice has reduced. That, because even if a bag of rice is $500, that's too expensive for most Gambians.
Absolutely.
Yes, that is not something to brag about, or to tell us. I saw the Minister of Information, trumpeting the Transparency International standing or ranking for the Gambia. That, therefore we are making right again. I mean, at the same time, the Auditor General just released the 2020 audit report. I mean, you read that, you wonder, does this country have law? Does this country have educated people who are running our finances, and so on? So I think we are still, we say national dialogue, but we are diverting the issue. And our intellectuals, our politicians, our journalists, our civil society actors and businesses, everyone, I think we need to be honest and speak to the issues, than attempting to sugarcoat or divert or disinform, which has become the norm now, perpetrated by the government itself. If at the same time they talk about combating disinformation.
Yeah,
yes.
that's what they said.
Honestly.